Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, as you can tell, we're starting barefaced and we're also in a different location. I'm actually home for the weekend babysitting my dog while my family's out of town and no one's here. Usually when I come home there's tons of people home so I can't film, but I decided to take advantage of the empty quiet house, so I'm going to try to get some filming done. I'm sorry if things are a little bit different than they usually are. I'm hoping this footage turns out okay because I'm trying to pre-film before my fall semester starts, which is in just a couple of weeks, unfortunately. So anyways, enough rambling. So today's video is going to be a full face with one palette, and that one palette is my Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This video is also in collaboration with Sarah Rose. She is one of my favorite YouTubers to watch. She's another smaller channel. She does a lot of really awesome videos about cruelty-free makeup, cruelty-free beauty products, Shop My Stash, Low Buy Stuff, project panning. Her channel is just really awesome and I really do encourage you guys to go check her out. Tell her I said hi. Her video will of course be linked down below as well as her channel. And without further ado, let's just hop right into it. I did scooch you guys in just a little bit closer because we are going to start with the eyes as I normally do. I am going to apply like foundation, concealer, and probably some setting powder after I do my eyes because I feel like that's the only way that these videos are truly realistic, because the way that I look at these videos, it's not only a fun challenge for myself, but it's also a way for me to kind of see different ways that I can use my products, especially products like the Modern Renaissance palette that may be getting a little bit old, maybe on the verge of expiring. So that's what I kind of decided. That's what Sarah also decided with me would be the best route to go about while we're filming this video. So I'm going to start by priming my eyes with my Essence I Heart Color Intensifying Eye Base per usual. I'm just going to slather this all over my lids and up to my brow bone just so we get a really smooth canvas to start out with. And then I'm just going to take a sponge. This one is from AOA Studio. I believe it's their Paw like teardrop sponge. I think that's what this one is called. And then as I normally do, I do want to go in and kind of set my crease down and very lightly set the lid. I feel like this is like a double challenge too because I couldn't obviously bring all my brushes home. If you guys saw how many brushes I have, it's a lot. So here's kind of the bunch that I brought home with me. I brought home my basics, of course, but I don't know. We'll have to see. So I'm just going to take my big fluffy brush. This one's from Morphe. It's the M533, and I'm going to dip into the shade Tempera right there. I'm just really, really lightly dipping my brush in there, and then I'm just going to dust this through my crease. So I was thinking before I started this video what kind of look I wanted to do, and I think I want to go for like a pretty like berry smoky eye. I think I want Love Letter to kind of be the star of the show. Ordinarily, if I was going to do this kind of look and I had access to all my makeup, I would probably throw in some color because I'm just in a really like color loving phase right now. But we are going to start with that. It might just be like a boring smoky eye, honestly, but I'm kind of okay with that. That's kind of what I'm feeling today. So another thing that I hope you guys will just excuse is that some of my brushes are dirty. And like I said, I don't have access to all of my brushes, so it's not like I can just switch between or grab another one. So I am just going to like wipe them off on a washcloth and try to get off as much product as I can before I go in with another shade, but please just bear that in mind. Cut me a little slack. So to start off with, I'm trying to think of what I want to dip into as a transition shade. I think I'm going to go in with a combination of burnt orange and raw sienna. And I'm taking this on a BH Cosmetics brush. This one's the number 7 brush from the Marble Luxe bundle. And I'm going to start running this through my crease, kind of as a transition shade. And then as I get to the outer corner, I'm going to wing it out. So you guys will have to let me know in the comments if you guys have experienced any like weirdness with your Modern Renaissance palette, because I feel like a lot of people are saying, oh, mine is expiring, like these shadows don't work anymore. I haven't had that experience with mine, but I'm very scared that it's going to expire because this is one of my favorite palettes, you guys. These shadows are so nice to work with. And now that I've got that kind of placed in my crease where I want it, I'm going to take that fluffy brush again with no additional product and just start buffing out those edges. And next, I think I'm actually going to take the brush that comes in the palette. I never use this brush and I don't know why. And I'm going to take a bit of red ochre, tap off the excess, and I'm going to start to work this kind of directly into my crease. It's okay if it gets on the lid a little bit, but I just want something that's kind of going to act as a buffer shade between Love Letter and those two transition shades that we applied. I'm also going to wing this out a little bit, but I'm going to try to keep it a little bit lower. Now that I've kind of built that up to the place that I want, I am going to dip back into burnt orange and raw sienna on that same brush once more. And I'm just going to kind of buff over the edges. Luckily, so far, I haven't had any kind of blending or pigmentation issues with this palette, so I think that mine is still good, which is a huge relief because this is one of my favorite palettes, like I said. So now I think I want to go in with the shade Love Letter right here, and I'm just going to take the brush that it came with once again, and I'm going to start applying this to my lid. I'm starting closer to my lower lash line when I first initially put my brush down because that's where the most product is going to deposit. And I'm kind of feathering it upwards. I'm actually going to take that other end of the brush and I'm going to dip it like sideways into Love Letter. So the flat portion of the brush has more product on it than the like top portion of it. And I'm going to lay that against my lid and just kind of wiggle it. I'm not really going into my crease. I'm just kind of wiggling it where my lid and my crease meet. So at this point in my look, I don't hate it. I mean, obviously it's very messy and I'm going to go in and clean it up with either concealer or a makeup eraser, but I feel like I'm just missing something. So I'm actually going to half cut my crease with some concealer. I'm not sure if this counts as cheating. So I'm just going to take this on my AOA Studio E122 and I am just going to really quickly half cut my crease. I'm just cutting it to about like where the edge of my pupil is. And then once I reach that point, I'm just going to go in with my finger and kind of tap out that concealer right there just to help the blend of those two shades together. I'm also just going to go in with a little bit of NYX glitter glue using the same brush, and I'm just going to, first I'm going to tap it over the front portion of my lid because that's the first area where I want to apply shadow. You guys know I just have to do this with my lids or else I get transfer. And I'm going to start with the shade Vermeer right here, which is like a beautiful champagne-y pink shade. And I'm going to tap this on the inner half of my lid. Well, the inner half of where we cut my lid out. Oh yeah, I already like this much better. I'm also going to bring this down kind of not in my inner corner yet because I still have to put concealer on, but in that inner socket of my lid. And then I'm going to go back in to the glitter glue that's on the back of my hand, and I'm going to load that up on the brush, and then I'm just going to pat that on the remaining little divot of concealer that we have. I am going to overlap it with Vermeer a little bit. So next I'm going to go in with Primavera, load that up on my brush, and then just place that where we placed that glitter glue. And then when I meet the matte shades, I'm trying to kind of feather it inward, hopefully start blending that. It's not really blending very well because these shadows are very nicely pigmented, but we will fix it. So now that I've got both lids cut out and I've covered them in shadow, I want to go in and blend this outer corner a little bit. I'm going to dip into Love Letter, and I think I'm just going to use the fluffier end of the brush, kind of concentrating product on the tip of it now more so than the side. And I'm just going to start lightly kind of tapping over that to try to marry those two colors together a little more. I think that looks a little bit better. I don't know. This is where the hard part is, that I don't have all my brushes and that I can't use the rest of my makeup because I would A, be using a different brush for this, and B, I probably would have used a different product on the lid. Not that there's anything wrong with these shadows. I just really been into cutting my crease with like some cream shadows lately. Alright, I would say that we are pretty darn well blended, and I think that's where I'm going to keep at least the top portion of the eyes for now. I'm going to hop off camera really quick, clean up the edges with my makeup eraser, put on foundation, concealer, and powder, and then we'll come back for the rest of the base. Alright, so foundation, concealer, and powder are on. I made sure to really set down my face because I always really like set down my eyes before I use eyeshadow, especially with these shadows because they are quite pigmented. So yeah, let's just dip into this. I'm nervous but also really excited because last time I did one of these I had so much fun. I did one with my Too Faced chocolate bar palette long ago, like probably a little over a year ago, year and a half ago, 2 years ago. It's been a long time, you guys. And so I think we should start with bronzer. So my bronzer tone candidates are Raw Sienna, Burnt Orange, or Warm Taupe. I feel like if I mix Warm Taupe and Raw Sienna, that would be a really nice shade. Let's do a little swatch test. Raw Sienna, Warm Taupe. I feel like that's a pretty good tone for a bronzer. It might be a hair deep, but we'll make it work, we'll make it work. Now the part that I didn't really think through is the size of my brushes compared to the size of these eyeshadow pans. The bronzer brush that I brought home with me is from Wet n Wild's from their holiday set last year. Let's just compare the size. Why didn't I bring home a smaller brush? I have the perfect one from Wet n Wild. It's from like their dragon collection, and that would have been so perfect, but we're gonna make this work. I'm gonna start in warm taupe. I'm just very, very carefully dipping my brush into there. I'm trying to keep it mostly on the tip of the brush. Tap off a little excess, and then we're gonna do the same into raw sienna. All right, I'm gonna go in so lightly. All right, I guess I can apply a little more pressure. I mean, is it the best bronze I've ever gotten? No. But is it the worst? Also no. I mean, my face looks more sculpted on that side, definitely. I'm just going to go in with a little bit more product. Do a little light tap to get all the excess off. Then go in again. Oh. Oh no. Okay, let's go in lightly on the forehead. Since our cheeks don't really need any more product now. I mean, it's really not blending half bad. These are very blendable eyeshadows, so I don't really know why I was doubting that. Alright, I feel like I have a stubborn line on this side, so I'm just going to take my powder brush. This one's from BH Cosmetics. It's the Marble Luxe set, I think it's called. Try to buff that out a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks better. You guys, that's not half bad. I was really, really worried about the bronzer portion, but it's really not that bad. Alright, so the skin is bronzed, and it's not my favorite tone of bronzer ever, but you know what, it's workable. I think if I was in a pinch, I would do that again, but it's not like something that I'm going to dip back into this palette to do once again. So now we're going to move on to blush, and I feel like this one's a pretty, like, well, duh, you're going to use that shade for blush. And I'm going to do a little bit of Love Letter, and I'm going to mix it with Buon Fresco, just to kind of lighten it up and tone it down a little bit. So I'm first going to go into Love Letter, just 2 little taps. Really tap off that excess. And then I'm going to go into Buon Fresco. Tap off the excess there too. We'll do a little check on the arm. Not too bad. Okay. Then we're just going to go in on the cheeks. Ooh, yeah, that's a lot of pigment. Ooh, is this a mistake? Possibly. I'm applying like no pressure, guys. Yeah, I don't think my Love Letter is expired. It's very pigmented. I'm taking a bit on the nose just because I feel like it helps my skin look a little bit more natural. And then I'm going to go back in with just a little bit more product. Let's just try 1 dunk each this time. Really tap off the excess and then go in. That might have been the way to go. I feel like this one's applying closer to the shade that I was hoping for. I don't know. I feel like I have clown cheeks still. Alright, let's grab my powder brush. Yoo-hoo! Oh, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to grab my powder brush and just blend that out. Hope and pray that it blends out. I mean, I knew that I was going to have blushy cheeks today with this palette being the only palette that I was going to let myself use. Just didn't know it was going to be this blushy. Damn. Alright, I'm also just going to take my sponge and I'm just going to take kind of the spot where I applied my foundation with, just so we can use a little bit of that excess product to help blend this back into our skin. See, I feel like it doesn't look that bad. I mean, lately I have been into a blushier cheek, but I feel like this could be so much worse, guys. I feel like that's really not that bad. Okay, so next we're going to go into highlighter, and for that, first I thought about just taking Tempera as like a very soft highlighter, but I'm like, you know what? I need some glitz, I need some glam. So I'm going to go in with my AOA Studio F19 brush, and I'm going to dip into Tempera. And then I'm also going to get a little bit of Vermeer so we can get a little bit of extra glow. Tap off that excess and then just apply it to my cheek. Ooh. Ooh. My cheekbones. Now, that is a glow that I can get behind. This is definitely something that I would consider doing again. If I was traveling and I wanted to kind of reduce the number of things that I was bringing, I would definitely use this as a highlighter. I'm also going to apply this to the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose, and the Cupid's bow. Just for a little glow. Okay, that is so pretty. That has been my favorite step yet, you guys, that we've done with this palette. I like this. Okay, so if you guys watched my last full face one palette, which I mean, I can link it below if you guys want to watch it. I don't really recommend it because I can only imagine how awkward I was in that video. Everything was going pretty well in that video until we got to brows. And then when I was doing my brows, I think halfway through I like dipped into like a deep dark brown shade that I didn't mean to dip into, and I applied it to my brows, and my brows were so dark. They were so the wrong color. So today we are definitely going to go in with some warm taupe, but I feel like that is too cool tone for my brows. That's definitely too cool tone for my brows. So I'm thinking if we dip into a little bit of burnt sienna, if we mix those two together, that might work. So I'm going to grab this brow brush that I have. This one's also from the AOA Studio. It's the E133. And first I'm going to start by brushing my brows upward. And then we're going to dip into the powder. So we're going to go in with equal parts of warm taupe and raw sienna. I'm just going to start lightly filling these in. I really don't have much experience filling my brows in with powder. These days I've been really into brow pencils, but this stuff does give a really pretty soft look. I feel like my brows look a little bit red, so I'm just going to go in with warm taupe, I think, to fill in the rest of my brow. Because I think raw sienna might be adding too much orange to it. I feel like we're having the too dark brow situation again. I mean, I guess it's not that bad. Blonde brows are supposed to be a little darker, right? Alright, let's try this other brow. I have to mix in a little bit of raw sienna at the beginning because I did it to the other brow and I don't want one brow looking more warm toned than the other one. I feel like that would be weird. So we're just going to do the same thing. And then now I'm just going to go in with warm taupe to kind of finish off the tail of my brow. I mean, they're not terrible. They're not my favorite brows ever. And again, this would work in a pinch, but like, am I going to go out of my way when I have my whole makeup collection in front of me to do this? Probably not. And now we are back to eyes once again. So I will probably keep my eyes pretty simple on the bottom. I'm just going to take this brush right here. It's like a chubby shader brush. I think it's from Coastal Scents. And I'm going to dip into the shade Raw Sienna right here. I think I dipped into burnt orange in my crease too. So we're just going to do that again. And I'm going to take this under my lower lash line, and I'm really going to focus on smudging it and smoking it out. And I'm kind of connecting it up to my upper lash line. Alright, I think that I've gotten that sufficiently smoky. So now I guess I'm just going to go in with the brush that came in the palette once again. And I'm going to dip into the shade Love Letter right here, keeping most of the product on the tip of the brush. And I am just going to start running this under my lower lash line, right on top of where we put those two browns. So I am going to try to keep it a little bit closer to the lash line versus how low I took those browns down. Not too shabby, not too shabby. And then I'm just going to take that bare fluffy brush once again with no additional product on it, and we're just going to buff and blend my lower lash line out. And then I'm just going to take my e.l.f. small precision brush, and I'm going to dip into the shade Vermeer. And I am going to just pop this on my inner corners for a little bit of added brightness to the look. I'm also placing a small amount of this on my brow bone. Alright guys, I think the eyes are done. Of course, minus mascara. So I'm going to hop off camera, apply some mascara, and then we'll come back for lips. Alright, so I'm back after applying copious amounts of mascara. I just used my Flower Beauty Lash Warrior mascara, and then I also used my Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer underneath, so I feel like I have some pretty big lashes today. I feel like they're looking a little bit clumpy, but I think that's because this mascara is on its last leg, so I don't really blame the primer for that. But let's finish up with lips. So while I was off camera, I did apply a little bit of my US lip balm, because I do want to give the shadow something to stick to. I feel like that gives it more of a fighting chance. I don't really have a lot of lip options in here. I feel like it's pink or orange or nudie beige-ish. So I think I'm going to go in with a little bit of Venetian red, just because it's a little bit more subtle than Love Letter. And I'm actually going to try this on a powder brush on the fluffy end of the one that comes with the palette. This may be a mistake, but I see Katie Jane Hughes applying lip product with like a fluffy powder brush all the time, so I want to try it. So we're just going to go in, just using back and forth motion. Okay, that is really pretty, you guys. I'm impressed. Not gonna lie. I feel like the lip balm was definitely a good idea because I feel like the powder is sticking to it so well. I think using a fluffier brush is helping me get more of an even coat because it's not applying too much product in one spot. I'm gonna go over that with my finger to blur out any edges. You guys, I am so surprised with how well this turned out. I feel like this makeup look is really pretty. It's something that I could have created even if I used like 20 different products to create it. I'm just really happy with the result, and I always have so much fun every single time I do one of these full face one palette challenges. It just really does a great job of reminding you that makeup is just makeup and it doesn't necessarily have to have a strict purpose. Like I used eyeshadow for blush and it turned out fine, eyeshadow for bronzer, brows, highlight, lipstick. I'm pretty happy with how this came out, you guys. So thank you so much again to Sarah for collabing with me. I had so much fun doing this collab. Make sure you guys go check out her video and subscribe to her channel. I'm very curious to see what kind of look that she creates and see what kind of color combos that she uses because I feel like we have a very similar skin tone and her hair is a little bit lighter than mine, but we're both blondes, so I want to see if she reaches for the same shades as I did for like blush, bronzer, highlight, and I'm really excited to see what kind of eyeshadow look she creates. Like I said, make sure you check her channel out and her video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe while you're there, and do the same to my channel while you're here if you enjoyed my video. If you guys are from her video, hi, my name is Sydney. I film beauty videos 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and a lot of my content is focused on shopping your stash, low buy, no buy, all sorts of fun challenges that really help you love online makeup that you already own in your collection. So I'm going to stop rambling on for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!